Jnanatimandasha Gyananganan Salakaya Chaksusu Umiltan Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtan Stapita Yena Bhutalin Swayarupa Kadamaya Dadati Swampadantika Vandeham Sri Guru Sritam Padakamalan Sri Guru Vaishnavascha Sri Rupan Sakajata Sahagana Raghunatha Vitantan Sajivan Sadvaitan Savadutan Parijana Saitan Sri Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shivshaka Vitanscha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kantu Radha Kantu Namastuti Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radha Brindamaniswari Vishabhanu Sutibdevi Panamami Hari Piye Vanchakapatrivyaschā kripāsindhivyevaca patitānām pavanavebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Namo mahabhadanjaya Krishna premapadayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya namine Gauratusya namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ananda Lila Maya Vigraya, Himeba Chavi Sundaraya Tasma Maha, Prem Rasa Padaya, Chaitanya Chandaya Namana Masate. So I thank everyone for coming this evening for the Bhagavad-Gita class. So this the Gita class actually has become like an option nowadays. In the early days of ISKCON, every devotee have to attend Bhagavatam class and Bhagavad-Gita class. But now everything's become an option. Only a few people come to the Gita class. So time have changed. So now we are in the chapter 18, text 58. Lord Krishna is the final instruction, the last chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita. So this is Arjuna. He's been instructed on how to fix his mind upon Krishna. And of course, Arjuna is a pure devotee of Krishna. And not just a pure devotee, Arjuna is Krishna's friend. So he's always thinking of Krishna. He never stopped. The whole Pandavas, their whole life is simply dependent on Krishna only. But here, the text we are going to be reading today, whereby Krishna is telling Arjuna that if you fix your mind upon me, then you can overcome all difficulties. And Arjuna is already Arjuna is Krishna's friend. When in Dwarka, Arjuna and Duryodhana, they went to Krishna's chamber, because they wanted Krishna's favor, because the battle is for the coming war. So they wanted Krishna to be on their particular side. So Arjuna and Duryodhana, they went to Krishna's chamber. So when they went inside, Krishna was taking rest. So Arjuna, he went to take seat at the feet of the bed. He sat down there, and Duryodhana, it himself so big, so he sat at the head of the bed. So when Krishna, opened his eyes, when Krishna woke up, the first person he saw, of course, was Arjuna. And then he knew that, okay, then he found out that Duryodhana himself was also waiting. So Krishna asked them that you have a choice in this battle that is coming. You have a choice. there is my army called Narayan Sena, and this Narayan Sena is the undefeatable army. This is Krishna's army called Narayan Sena, and then there's myself on one side. So Krishna said, you have a choice of either to choose my army with so many phalanxes of soldiers, or you choose me and I'm not going to carry any weapon, I'm not going to fight. So you have to make a choice. So, so Duryodhana was thinking that where Arjuna came here first, maybe Arjuna is going to choose the army. So because Duryodhana was thinking in terms of strength, the physical strength, that's what he was thinking in terms of that one. But Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, I can only choose you. I can only choose you. So Duryodhana was so happy. Oh, I'm so okay. He said, all right, that's good. So he was so happy that he's going to get Krishna's army, the Narayan Sena. Because the Munya people, the non-devotees, they always think in terms of what particular strength they can have. To them, there's never any God factor. Or maybe if there is God, maybe that's where the actual victory may be. But they don't believe in that. They believe in their own strength, in their own particular capability. But the devotees, they naturally choose this God, Krishna. So Arjuna said, my dear Lord, you are the driver of my life. So who else can I choose? You can be my charioteer. So in this way, so when the Krishna was telling Arjuna that think of me, he's not talking to Arjuna, he's actually talking to us. Because Arjuna was like the calf. There's a cowherd, what's that verse? Sarva-durgāṇi, Dugda Gopalanandana, that the Upanishads, they're like cow, they're like cow. So, and for cows, if you want to make the cow, there must be a calf. So the calf is Arjuna. Vatsa means the calf. So Arjuna is the calf. And who's the maker of the calf is Krishna. Krishna is making the cow. So because Arjuna is there, and those who are drinking the cow, the maker of the cow are the devotees. Dugdam, Gita, Mitam, Mahat. So the devotees, they are the one drinking the cow which is being made by Krishna. So the Lord wants to talk to us, the Lord is talking to us, so therefore he's simply speaking through Arjuna this way. Otherwise, Arjuna is a pure devotee. He does not need to hear Bhagavad-Gita to do what is necessary. But for us, Arjuna took up a particular role that I'm confused with my duty, I don't know what to do, so therefore Krishna give me instruction, enlighten me. So Krishna started enlightening Arjuna. But we should not be we should never be confused that maybe Arjuna was not, that Krishna has to instruct Arjuna so that Arjuna could fight. No, that's not. It's we that we needed this instruction. And so Krishna is speaking to us through Arjuna. So today is text number 58. Very, very important. This last few verses of the Gita is very, very important text. So we can, let's repeat. Mac-cittaḥ sarva-durgāṇi, mat-prasādāt tariṣyasi, atha tvam ahaṅkārān, śroṣyasi vinaṅkṣyasi, mac-cittaḥ sarva-durgāṇi, mat-prasādāt tariṣyasi, atha tvam ahaṅkārān, śroṣyasi vinaṅkṣyasi. Kanchan? Mac-cittaḥ sarva-durgāṇi, mat-prasādāt tariṣyasi, atha tvam ahaṅkārāt na śroṣyasi vinaṅkṣyasi mac-cittaḥ sarva-durgāṇi mat-prasādāt tariṣyasi
ahaṅkārān
tvam ahaṅkārān
śroṣyasi vinaṅkṣyasi
mat-cittaḥ sarva-durgāṇi mat-prasādāt tariṣyasi atha tvam ahaṅkārān na śroṣyasi vinaṅkṣyasi
mat-cittaḥ sarva-durgāṇi mat-prasādāt tariṣyasi tvam ahaṅkārān na śroṣyasi vinaṅkṣyasi
mac-cittaḥ sarva-durgāṇi
mat-prasādāt tariṣyasi
atha tvam ahaṅkārān mat of me, cittaḥ, being in consciousness, sarva, all, durgāṇi, impediments, mat-prasādāt, by my mercy, tariṣyasi, you will overcome, atha, but, chit, if, tvam, you, ahaṅkārāt, by false ego, na śroṣyasi, do not hear, vinaṅkṣyasi, you will be lost. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not walk in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Purport. A person in full Krishna consciousness is not unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence. The foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. For one who acts in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna becomes the most intimate friend. He always looks after his friend's comfort, and he gives himself to his friend, who is so devotedly engaged, working 24 hours a day to please the Lord. Therefore, no one should be carried away by the false ego of the bodily concept of life. One should not falsely think himself independent of the laws of material nature or free to act. He is already under strict material laws. But as soon as he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is liberated, free from the material perplexities. One should note very carefully that one who is not active in Krishna consciousness is losing himself in the material whirlpool, in the ocean of birth and death. No conditioned soul actually knows what is to be done and what is not to be done. But a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. mac-cittaḥ sarva-durgāṇi mat-prasādāt tariṣyasi atha tvam ahaṅkārāt na śroṣyasi vinaṅkṣyasi. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not walk in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. So this is very, very important when we are practicing our Krishna consciousness, that yes, everything will do, and anything that we may achieve, it's all by the mercy, by the grace of the Lord. Like we say, is divine grace. Whose divine grace? Krishna's grace. Krishna is divine grace. And of course, the pure representative is that grace of Krishna. So, because when the pure representative is Sadguru, who is representing Krishna and bringing that message from Krishna, so he is the divine grace because is the carrier of that mercy that is coming from Krishna. So Krishna is saying that if you become conscious of me, mac-cittaḥ, become conscious of me, which means your mind always fixed on me. The mind always fixed on me. Then ultimately, you can overcome all difficulties of life. In the chapter 3 of the Bhagavad-Gita, so Lord Krishna told Arjuna that it's a ya karosi, ya josi, ya tapashyasi konteya, that everything you do, whatever you do in life, whatever you do, or all your activities or sacrifices or tapa, whatever, everything should be done as an offering unto me. This is what Krishna said, that all your things should be done as an offering unto me. Whereas, if you think of yourself as independent, that, oh, I don't have to listen to this, I don't have to, I already know everything. Because in this world, everyone is full of ahaṅkārāt, the false ego. So, the tendency is not to want to listen. The tendency is that, yes, I know everything, why should I have to listen? So therefore, a person with such a mentality, Krishna says, vinaṅkṣyasi, that you will be lost. You will be lost if you simply depending upon your own ego. That yes, I know this, I know that, you know. So he said that the Lord said you will be lost. So the Lord said, mat-prasādāt, which is by my mercy, you can overcome all obstacles. By my mercy, you can overcome all obstacles. We know that as we are engaging in Krishna consciousness, we are trying to render devotional activities unto the Lord. So, yeah, I know, it's going to go off. You know, let me just turn it off. Okay, it's going to go off. So, we're rendering Krishna devotional service, you know. We know that, you know, so many difficulties are always there in the devotional activities. You know, because devotional service is not that all, it's not that just, we call it hunky-dory in the English, in America. It's not that all easy. Many problems is always there, especially when you are trying to do something in the association of other devotees. You know, in the association of other devotees means everybody has got their particular mind, and everybody has got their particular angles or vision. So which means the way you are thinking, other person will never think the same way. But if you want to fight your way through, then ultimately you're going to have problems. So therefore the Lord said, mac-cittaḥ, just if you want to overcome the difficulties, just fix your mind on me only, and I'm just completely dependent upon me, mat-prasādāt. Just depend upon my mercy only. And if you do that, then you can overcome, all difficulties if you do that. In the Bhagavad-Gita, it said that with consciousness fixed in me, by my mercy alone, you will cross over all the sufferings of this world, which is normally difficult to cross. You should not worry about this. So which means the devotee, you only have to worry about, he doesn't have to worry about anything, just only have to worry about being able to render a service to Krishna without having to worry about what the result will be. Just like when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he composed in one of his prayers, he said that, my dear Lord, this house, there is a person that I call my wife. But who is that my wife? She's your maidservant. And who is my son? He's your servant. And who is my daughter? She's your maidservant. What is this house? This is your house. And what is my role? My role is simply a caretaker. So therefore, any happiness or distress that may come in the management or administration of this house does not belong to me, because after all, I'm not the owner. This is your property, your house, your house. This is our servant. I am simply a caretaker. So therefore, I'm free of any anxiety. I'm free of any anxiety. So whereas if we simply think ourselves as the doer, then anxiety will always be there. Anxiety will always be there if we think ourselves to be the doer of anything. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, let me see. So in his prayer, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had composed that to me Sarveshware Brajendra Kumara Tomara Ichaya Biswe Sujanam Samhara Tava Ichamato Brahma Korena Srijana Tava Ichamato Vishnu Korena Palam Tavaicha mate Shiva Korena Samhar Tavaicha mate Maya Sujekaragar Tavaicha mate Jive Janama Marana Samardini Pate Duka Suga Sankatan Meche Maya Bodha Jiva Asa Pasufire Tavaicha Bina Kechu Koritina Pare Tumi Turaka Kahara Palaka Mara Tomara Charana Bina Asana Hiyar Nijabala Chista Prati Barasachariya Tomara Icha Yavachi Nibara Skoria Bakoti Binodo Ati Dina Kinchana Tomara Icha Yatoro Jivana Moran. So, this prayer is essentially saying that everything is depending upon the desires of Lord Krishna. Icha means desire, based everything is, so the Lord said in this sloka we are reading today, He said, mat-prasādāt, by my mercy. So everything depends on the Lord's own desire. And this is a devotee who has completely surrendered unto the Lord. You see that nothing moves without the Lord's sanction. Nothing moves without the Lord's desire. So he said, the prayer, that, oh my dear, My dear son of the king of Braj, you are the Lord of all lords. According to your will, creation and destruction take place in the universe. Everything takes place only according to the will of the Lord. As I mentioned, that sa-akshata bahusham, this is one of the aphorisms from the Upanishad, that when the Lord desires, then everything becomes many. Creation takes place when He desires. According to your will, Lord Brahma creates. And according to your will, Lord Vishnu maintains. According to your will, Lord Shiva destroys. And according to your will, Maya constructs the prison house of this world. Everything is according to the will of the Lord. According to your will, the living beings take birth and die. And according to your will, they meet with prosperity and ruin, happiness and sorrow. The tiny soul, bound up by Maya, vainly struggles in the fetters of worldly desire. Without your will, without your sanction, is unable to do anything. In this world, everyone is full of false ego, ahaṅkārā. It's a ahaṅkārā vimodatman, kataha mitimanyati. So you have a very person to, because of being overwhelmed by false ego, ahaṅkārā. So you say, I'm the doer of everything, kataha mitimanyati. I am the doer of everything. I am the controller, I am the mover. This is all based on illusion. This is all based on an illusory conception. The living entity cannot even move his hand without the will of the Lord. He cannot even move your hand. So he said that according to your will, the living beings, they take birth and die. And according to your will, they meet with prosperity and ruin, happiness or sorrow. So everything is all according to the will of the Lord. That without your sanction, the jiva is unable to do anything without your sanction. Is there anything that can be done in this world with our own capability? Is there anything that can be done in this world? But we are thinking, I'm the mover, I'm the shaker. I'm the mover and shaker of everything. We are thinking this way. This is only due to ahaṅkārā only. This is due to false ego, due to illusory conception. And when people are full of this illusory conception, what happens is that so much anxiety, so much difficulties. Anxiety, difficulty is always there. A non-devotee will never be happy. Whereas devotee of Krishna, they are always peaceful, they are always happy. Krishna Bhakta Niskam Atayava Santo, Bhakti Mukti Siddhi Kami, Sakalya Santo. So Krishna Bhakta Niskam Atayava Santo, so because Krishna devotees, they are always peaceful, they are always happy, because they don't see themselves as the doer of anything. They have no personal desires. Whereas the non-devotees, even he said the bhakti mukti siddhi kami, which means not just a kami, the siddhis, those who are performing, the siddhas, the mystic yogis. So the mystic yogis, the impersonalists, none of them have peace. None of them have peace because they think themselves to be, the doer. Because of this, they are full of ahaṅkārā. So therefore, my Prabhu is saying, Krishna Bhakta Niskam Sakalya Santa. Bhakti Mukti, okay. Krishna Bhakta Niskam Atayava Santa, then Bhakti Mukti Siddhi Kame Sakalya Santa. So devotee of Krishna, they are always very peaceful. They are always very happy. So they are, If Krishna wants, he can make provision. And if Krishna doesn't want, it's up to him. Just like when Mahaprabhu, he was talking with Kulavicha Shida. And Shida, he was a banana seller. He sells banana, banana place, banana leaf, that's what he sells. And then with that, he maintained himself. Whatever he sells, 50% of that, he will use that to worship Mother Ganges. And 50% of that, he will use to maintain himself. Very, very little. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he saw him as become Mahaprabhu in his Chahu Lila as Nimai, so he always go to Shida and tell him that Shida, you have so much wealth which you are hiding, and you just don't show it to anyone. Even though because Shida, he has his roof, his house, it's always a leaking roof, and his clothes is all torn, or all these things torn, So Mahaprabhu will taunt him. We said that, why you not wearing nice clothes? How come you don't maintain your house? So Mahaprabhu will try to taunt him. So Shida will say that, look, Nimai, I'm able to sleep, I'm able to stay somewhere. So even though a person who may have everything, it's like it's the same thing. It's just a place to some food to eat, and a place to take rest. And then once you sleep, you actually forget where you are anyway. Once you sleep, you forget where you are. And then when you wake up, that's the only time you can know that, oh, maybe I'm sleeping in a big fancy bed. But once you sleep, then you are dreaming. You don't know where you are. So Sridhar was saying that, Lord Nimai, I don't have to worry about anything. I have what I need. Yes, at least even though my clothes is torn up, at least I know that I am covering myself, even though the clothes is not torn. And he said, I'm not worried about it. I have no anxiety. I don't have anxiety about it. Because why? Because Sridhar is a pure devotees of Krishna. To them, they are completely 100% dependent on Krishna. So whatever the Lord provide, they are very, very satisfied with that. Because they are always in thought of the Lord. In the next verse, I think text 64 of this Gita, the Lord said, Mac-cittaḥ Magata Pranam Bodhayanta Parasparam, is it? Mac-cittaḥ Magata Pranam Bodhayanta Parasparam. Yeah. So the Lord telling Krishna that, the Lord telling Arjuna that just think of me only, become my devotees, and like that. Atmanam mat-prasādāt, then you come to me. This is the Lord teaching us the basics of Krishna consciousness. The basics of Krishna consciousness is to always thinking of Krishna. That's the basics of Krishna consciousness. So in this prayer here, so he's saying that the living entity is unable to do anything without your desire. You are my only protector and maintainer. Except for your lotus feet, there is no other hope for me. So the devotees only look at the Lord's lotus feet only. So except for your lotus feet, there is no other hope for me. No longer confident of my own strength and endeavor, I have become solely dependent on your will. So, because a devotee is free of ahaṅkārān, it doesn't have this ego, this egotism, this abhiman, that aham, Ishwara aham bhogi. A devotee do not have this, this abhiman, this conception that I am this, or like this. So a devotee is solely dependent upon the Lord only, upon the will. So therefore, a devotee is not concerned that what good or bad may come, because to him everything is Krishna. Everything is Krishna to him. So what good or bad may come, it's not dependent on that. Whereas non-devotees, because of their ahaṅkārā, their own false ego, so they think that they have to make things happen. They have to make things happen. They have to do. They have to do. They have to. They think. On the battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna was completely dependent on Krishna only. Totally dependent on Krishna. So therefore, of course, by the will of the Lord, Arjuna will tell Krishna that, drive this way, drive that way, and all that. Even though, of course, Krishna has become the charioteer of Arjuna. He became the Parthasarathi, by which even the great sages, when they try to narrate these pastimes, they are always full of wonder that how come the Supreme Lord becomes someone's chariot driver? How can someone because the Lord, because of affection and love of his devotees, so he takes a small role because of his affection for his devotees, Bhakti-yoga. So he takes a small role of such role as being a charioteer, being a chariot driver of Arjuna, because Arjuna is a dear devotee. So therefore, he's concluding his prayer here. He said that Bhakti Vinod is most poor, and his pride has been leveled. Now, in accordance with your will, he lives and dies. This is a good mentality for devotees to have. That if we make our life completely dependent on the Lord's will, so our life dependent on the Lord's will, so we find that actually we will always be joyful. Because everything's according to the Lord's. So even though sometimes, because as I said before, that yes, when we are executing our devotional service and in the association of others, there are always, the obstacle is always there. The problems is there. It's not that once you join the Hare Krishna temple, then all your problems finish. No. The problem just starts. Yeah, the problem just starts, We know that. Many of us have been around for a long time. We know. Problem just begins, actually. So that now I'm a devotee now, all the problems go away, no more problems. I will always be happy. No. In the beginning, when you first join, okay, you take nice prasad, they give a lot of prasad, chant and dance and so you experience initial, happiness actually in the beginning. Because that's what we do now with the Krishna consciousness may chant and dance and take Krishna prasad, So therefore you're very, very happy. The senior devotee, they encourage you that okay, just take prasad, you'll be very, very happy. Krishna consciousness means a happy life, isn't it? But as time goes on, you start making some progress, then the realities start coming in. That yes, to attain love of God is not that easy. It requires a lot of effort to attain that love of Krishna. It is an ordinary thing for the Pandavas to be served by Krishna. It is an ordinary thing. No. The Pandavas, they went so many difficulties. Even with that's why Bhishma Dev, he was even very surprised. When Bhishma Dev was on the deathbed, he was on the bed of arrows, and the Pandavas, they went in front of him, and Krishna, they went in front of him because they wanted to hear an instruction, because Bhishma, he was one of the Mahajans. So when Bhishma Dev, when he saw the Pandavas, he expressed his surprise. He said, "What kind of difficulties that you Pandavas have gone through?" He said, no ordinary person could even survive those difficulties. And how could even anyone try to imagine that you happen to be a dear devotee of Krishna, but still you went through all these difficulties, And of course, the Pandavas, they went through all these difficulties, but anytime they have any problem, they simply call upon Krishna, and Krishna comes to them. Any problem, Krishna comes. When Draupadi was about to be destroyed, she tried to defend herself. She could not defend herself. She saw herself being powerless. And then she said, hey, Govinda, hey, Krishna. She called upon Krishna. Then immediately Krishna came and supplied unlimited amount of, of saris to protect her. Or when the Pandavas, when they were in the forest, when they were in exile, and Duryodhana, he wanted to find a way to hurt the Pandavas. So Duryodhana, he sent Devasmuni to go and be a guest of the Pandavas. Draupadi, she has got a pot called Akshaya Patra, the pot, Draupadi's pot. And in this pot which Draupadi has, when she cooks, she can feed unlimited numbers of people. She can even feed the whole India. But if she eats, once she eats herself, then that's it. The pot will no longer give any food. So Duryodhana, he sent Devasmuni to the spot at the time when after Draupadi had already eaten, and she already washed the pot. And because Devasmuni is, who happened to be an expansion of Lord Shiva, he gets very angry with a small thing. And if you get angry, it can create a big, chaos if you get angry. So, when after the Pandavas had finished eating, and Draupadi had said she ate already, she was a pot. At that time, there was somebody came with his 60,000 disciples. She came there. So now, this put, of course, the Pandavas in anxiety. So Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Draupadi that, have you eaten? She said, yes, I've eaten. So he said, what to do? This is a big calamity because we don't want to. They don't want to get the anger of Devasmuni. So Yudhishthira Maharaj told Devasmuni that, okay, since you just came, it's in the afternoon, you can all go take bath in the river, go take your afternoon snan, and then you come back, your meal will be ready. So Devasmuni and all his disciples, so they went to the river to bathe. So in the meanwhile, the Pandavas, they were, explaining what to do. So they call upon Krishna, that only Krishna can save us in this calamity. Only Krishna can save us. So by simply thinking of Krishna, Krishna immediately appeared. Krishna said, "What's the problem? Why are you calling me?" He said, "Well, we had to feed Devasmuni and his disciples." So, and then Krishna said that, so what is the difficulty? Why can't you go? What is the difficulty? He said, well, Draupadi has eaten the food. So Krishna asked Draupadi that, is there any food left? Draupadi said, no, there's no food left. Everything is gone. I've already washed the pot. So Krishna said, okay, let me see the pot. So when Krishna looked inside the pot, so there was a leaf that was stuck inside the pot. So Krishna took that leaf, ate the leaf, and then rubbed his stomach and said, now I'm completely full, because when I'm full, the whole universe is full. The whole universe is full when I'm full. So immediately the Devasmuni and all the disciples, they find themselves full as if they've eaten a huge feast. They find themselves so full. So they are thinking that, if we go to, it will not be proper for us to go back to Yudhishthira Maharaj, because the stomach we will not be able to eat, because it's like we are eating a big feast. So of course they had to run away, and of course the Devasmuni, he thought that this must be the Lord's own situation. The Lord must have created this situation, and so he didn't want to get the Lord's anger on him. So they had to run away. So they all left. So in this way, the Lord always comes to protect the Pandavas. because they are pure devotees. But they have so many numbers of problems. Right from their birth, they were having problems. Right from their birth. So Bhishma was expressing that, how come you Pandavas, you are devotees of Krishna, and you have to go through all these difficulties, which is not possible for ordinary person to survive. So the Bhishma Dev was expressing his surprise that how can even understand the nature of Krishna's devotee? How can one understand this? So therefore, a devotee do not pray for peace, actually. A devotee simply want to, serve. There was one time in America, one of our devotees in the state of Ohio. So this person was in the library, in the public library, and all of a sudden, some crazy man came and shot her. Of course, she didn't die, but she suffered the permanent disability. So she said that, how come I'm a devotee of Krishna? Why this problem came to me? How come Krishna allows somebody to come and shoot me? And then she gave up the faith. She said, I don't believe this anymore. So she gave up the faith that how can Krishna allow somebody to come and shoot me? Krishna should have protected me and all these things. So she gave up the process, And of course, after some time, after a few years, then she came back, So, and of course, I was telling her that, look, you don't know the work of the Lord. The Pandavas, they went through much more difficulty than you can even ever imagine. So the devotees, this is their life, because they know everything happened only according to the will of the Lord. So therefore, they do not in any anxiety. Their so-called anxiety is actually a bliss for them. The anxiety is what? If Krishna is not here, that is the anxiety. So the so-called anxiety is a bliss for the devotees. So Krishna is telling Arjuna in this verse that we are reading today that yes, if you think that you can achieve anything by your own effort, then you'll be put into difficulty. You'll be put into difficulty. You will express a lot of problems. If you think anything can be attained by your own effort, due to your false ego. But however, if you see everything by my mercy, mat-prasādāt, then you will be able to cross over any difficulties in life. You'll be able to cross over any difficulties. So there's a lot of lesson that is here in this very beautiful verse. From now on till the end of the chapter, it's just one beautiful thing after the other, very, very big, as we are going through the end of this chapter. So I'm going to stop.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so nice, eh? That I stop, eh? Okay, any question or comments?
Yes, sir. Everything is dependent on the will of the Lord.
Yes.
So whatever we are doing, that is the will of the Lord, or we are doing our own question, we can do the things.
Well, of course, whatever we do in Krishna consciousness must be guided by a pure devotee of Krishna. So that's what Srila Prabhupada, he said at the end here, he said that a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. So which means we cannot conclude anything by our own mind. We cannot just do out of speculation. Whatever we do must be sanctioned, must be under the authority, the guidance of the Guru, who is himself a dear servant of Krishna. Otherwise, if we just concoct something that, oh, this is Krishna, if we just make our own concoction, then it just be problematic. So therefore, everything we'll do will have to be according to the guidance of the spiritual master.
So whatever Duryodhana had in mind that somebody should go there, so that was also the plan of Krishna.
Whatever happened to a devotee is according to Krishna's will. The non-devotees, they act according to their own ego. According to the force ego, they act. But anything happen to devotees is only according to Krishna's will. So which means every step, there's always a constant test for devotees. And it's just a matter of how are we ready to pass the test, because the test will come our way all the time. So if we think we are the doer, obviously we will not be able to pass the test. And which, if you're unable to pass the test, then we're going to stay longer in the material world. So we have to see every situation as being the Lord's will. And the devotee accept that. The devotee accept that. So if you accept that everything that comes is according to the will of Krishna, then there'll be no anxiety. You always be happy. And of course, as they say, that it's actually difficult to understand a devotee. Because a devotee's mind is difficult to understand. Because we may project something on the outward, but internally we have some particular things that we keep within ourselves. Because others will not be able to understand the mood of a devotee. Because if a devotee who's feeling himself in direct contact with Krishna, then will not necessarily project that outside, because other people on the outside, they will not be able to understand. They can't understand. So, it's just there. When we study the life of the associates of Chaitanya Prabhu, we can see how all of them, how they lead their life. Just to make it simple, anything we do should be under the guidance of the spiritual master. Should be under the guidance. Then there'll be no difficulty.
So whether devotee or the materialist person, then there is a will of the Lord for the materialist person only, also, or only for devotees?
No, for everybody. But the materialists don't know. They don't know that everything is according to the will of the Lord, but they think that according to their own strength. Everything in this material world, even the living cannot move his arm without the Lord's will. So, but the non-devotee think that I am the doer. You see? That's the only difference. They think themselves, because under force they go, under illusion, they think they are the doer. But the Lord is the supreme will of everything. Non-devotees or devotees, everything is according to His will. But devotees know this, but non-devotees, they don't know this. Or they don't even accept. Why? Because they feel themselves in competition with God. Yeah.
That is the question. If a non-devotee does anything foolishness, he comes to know somehow that everything is because of will of the Lord. This is the question. That is also will of the Lord.
Yeah, I mean, so, okay, for everything according to the Lord's will. And of course, if a devotee do some foolish stuff, he will get consequence will be there. I said devotee or non-devotees?
Non-devotee.
Yeah, non-devotee.
Devotee understand everything is happening because
Yeah.
of the will of the Lord.
But non-devotees don't know. They don't accept.
This comes slow, let us say. It just because lot of in India people say like this. Everything is happening because of supreme.
They work on the three guna forces into that.
That's what I want to do.
But anyone who is not serving Krishna, they think themselves to be the doer, basically. It's only when the bad things come to them, they say, oh, God, But when the good things happen to them, they never think of God. They don't think of God when the good thing bad to them. They think themselves, they are the doer. But when the bad thing happen to them, they say, oh, why me? Why me? This is it, why me? Just they start blaming God for bad things. But no one praise God when good things is happening to them. They don't. But they praise God, they blame God for bad things. That's the nature of the material world. Yeah.
Like in discussion, this point came like problems come as soon as somebody, let us say, you said that comes in the temple, then the problem comes. Problem starts.
After some time. Initially, you get some relief. You get some relief immediately, initially. Yeah.
Problem comes.
Yeah, exactly.
So then this like the wordings of Prabhupada, chant and be happy, it becomes like controversy then.
Now, in the beginning, you're actually happy in the beginning. You feel the happiness in the beginning, just to attract you. It's like
you say chant and be happy in the beginning, and later you become miserable.
no, it's not that you become miserable, but it's just like you want to give a child medicine. You put the sugar coat, you sugar it with some sweet. Just take this one, but otherwise the child will not take the medicine. So therefore, you give the medicine to the child that is coated with some sweet. Yes. So the child is taking it, but the child doesn't know that it's taking medicine. So initially, when we first joined, it's like that. We are very happy. Oh, Krishna consciousness is so wonderful. God had enough with chanting, especially some of us who came from the West, So in the beginning, it's like that in the beginning. We are happy, everybody join us, like that. But after some time, then Krishna wants you to see the reality that yes, now you have to work for it. So, according to how much you have surrendered yourself, you will get based on your surrender, then you can see either to, and of course for one who have actually surrendered to Krishna, then they'll be able to overcome the difficulty, because difficulty will come, but they'll be able to overcome it. That is based on surrender to Krishna. That's what the Lord is saying. This He said that mac-cittaḥ, He said that if you fix your consciousness upon me, then you overcome all difficulties. But if you don't, then you have problems. And that's why many devotees go away. I mean, since I joined Krishna consciousness, since I joined this society, I would say 99% of people are left.
How many?
99%.
90%.
Exactly. I mean, that's it.
That is very bad statistics.
But I would say 99%. Let's say 95%.
They left.
Exactly.
Early leaders have got so many early leaders.
But they left. Or for proper disciples, at least more than 95% left.
Prabhupada said chant and be happy is not a correct statement.
No, that was correct statement, but chant from how you chant.
The point is that this point of surrender to Krishna, this we have to take to heart. This point of surrender, mac-cittaḥ, of always fix our mind on Krishna, this we have to take to heart, which we are not willing to do. So that's why the problems comes. We start saying the fault, oh, this is not good, and then we go away. Our four proper disciples, more than 95% left. Many of them, they even become worse than what they were before they even joined. So many.
It means this statement is wrong because
the statement is not wrong. It's the acceptance of the statement. It's how you accept the statement, how you accept it. So if you accept properly, then you always be happy. You'll be happy. But you have to accept it. Krishna says, surrender unto me. Fix your mind upon me. But we don't. We fix our mind on Maya. So if you fix our mind on Maya, of course we're going to get there. Krishna said, mac-cittaḥ. Next is going to mac-cittaḥ, mac-cittaḥ. So just fix your mind upon me. But of course, that's why it's always good to have a good association. If you have a good association with advanced devotees, and you take the word of the spiritual master to be your life and soul, then you'll be able to overcome the difficulties.
So the devotees who left, they left because of their weakness, not because of chant and be happy state.
Yeah, of course, because of their weakness. That's why they left. Yeah. That's why, because of the weakness. It's called a hridaya dula. Beside that, the hridaya, what is it called? The weakness of the heart.
Their own anarthas, they could not accept the teachings, they could not live with the teachings.
Yeah. People have so many, they bring their own ideas. So many ideas they bring.
You are not the doer.
Yeah.
You think that I am the doer.
The details are there, there are different details. As you are saying, chanting, how they are chanting, Prabhuji is saying, how much they are surrendering. The statement is correct. Chant and be.
Yes, you will be happy.
How it is applied.
Yeah. There has to be acceptance.
Yeah, you surrender to Krishna, whether in temple or outside. doesn't matter. If you will surrender, then he is happy.
So it's like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains this point very, very clearly in the Javadharma. Whereby there's a point, there's a hearing, and there's a point of acceptance. So,
these two verses clearly.
So the acceptance is Srila Prabhupada also in the nectar of instruction also. Srila Prabhupada also elaborates, Shravana Dasa, Apana Dasa, Smarana Dasa, like that. Srila Prabhupada elaborated this point in the nectar of instruction.
You said in the class also in answer that you have to spiritual masters. If spiritual master say you follow, you are happy. If you will not, then you are unhappy.
Exactly.
No matter whatever you do.
Yeah.
You do 100 parikrama or Govardhan, you do every day Radha Krishna, and you chant 192 rounds, you will not be happy.
No.
Because it is not sanctioned by your spiritual master.
Because the spiritual master, he can see, he sees, he's the seer.
Because his orders are like coming from Krishna.
So he's the seer, and we are the seen. So therefore, if we follow him, accept him 100%, obviously, we'll be in the right situation, obviously,
These two purports, Prabhupada clearly speaking both times. In this purport also, in last purport also, clearly speaking again and again.
Yeah.
Same thing. Except like in this, you read the last lines of the purport?
Yeah.
While you were giving answer?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing is saying in the last purport also.
Exactly. Yeah, there's several verses in these last chapters of Gita. It's all about fixing the mind Krishna, accepting.
It's very important for our devotees, especially.
Yeah.
They think he will come to Vrindavan and live and this and that, he will be happy. And after 20 years he say, I'm not happy. Then he will say, chant and be happy is not okay. No, you didn't accept properly.
Because it's never accepted from the beginning. So that's why Krishna consciousness, they said simple for the simple and crooked for the crookedness. Simplicity is Vaishnavism.
What other examples are there apart from Arjuna and Pandavas of just fix your mind upon me and find it?
There are so many devotees, life of devotees. We should try to read the life of the biography of devotees. We should try to read it. So many devotees like that. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much. You wanted to ask a question?
If in this Vrindavan we can see most experienced devotees and spiritual masters, but currently I am in college and in hostel there are total full of non-devotees and they used to say that God is not there. So in this case, if a problem arises, how do we face the problem?
So therefore, I'm sure in your city, temple is there. There's temple in your city. Where do you stay? Which city?
In Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore.
Well, Coimbatore, we have a nice temple in Coimbatore.
Yeah.
So which means always go to the temple. Always go to the temple, and then you will, you can be protected. Always not okay. You have to go to school. That's okay. But if you want to have real friends, make friends only with the devotees. Then you will not be caught up in all this, in atheistic ideology. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki